What's going on, guys? Oh my, Godzilla back here with another very exciting Godzilla figure review. Guys, today we are taking a look at from Super7 and their Toho Ultimates line, the Godzilla 1989 comic book Bloodthirsty Godzilla. Guys, this guy's based off of the Dark Horse comics, and it was a San Diego Comic-Con 2023 exclusive, although it is going to be available on their website for a limited time until supplies run out. I think this figure is very, very cool. Very awesome offering from Super7, guys. Let's jump right in. Guys, first thing I want to do is take a look at this packaging. Now you can tell, super, super crisp, awesome picture on the front. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, little logo up top. You got the Ultimates logo and kind of a continuation of that first photo. And moving to the side, just kind of some more continuation of the rock blast on that first picture we have there. Moving it to the back, very cool shot of Godzilla's eye and a little bit of even blood kind of coming out of that. I assume that's what it is. There we have it. We have our Godzilla with all of his blood all over his mouth. Cool, really cool effects kind of along the edges of the packaging. Open mouth, closed mouth, some fists there, tails in the back. Little dude in there. And guys, forgive me, I've never really read the Dark Horse comics. It looks awesome. I need to check it out for sure. After being hit with a poison dart, Godzilla is driven into a bloody rage that ravages the west coast of North America for months. Teams across the globe try and fail at subduing the monster. From issue 1, I'd love to try and get my hands on those issues, guys. And I have a feeling that this figure might drive me to do that. So, guys, let's bust this guy out of the box. And now, guys, into the figure itself. And I want to start by saying I'm 99% positive this is pretty much the exact same sculpt as the first Godzilla we have from Super7, that being the one that pairs with Biollante. So I think we pretty much have the exact same sculpt. That said, we will take a look at everything in depth. So first of all, we're going to start with just the figure straight up. Looking at the head first, very, very pretty clean. I actually like this a lot. I think the color and the paint looks really good. I think the teeth look pretty solid with the kind of blood immersed with them. The eyes look great. I love that kind of orange, and then you kind of have the off red kind of circle within the orange there. I think it looks really good. The blood coming down the neck looks pretty good. It is a little weird that we have this kind of gapping. I guess this is supposed to, and then this blood part kind of it misses a piece. So, you know, it looks like this piece, this drip is supposed to come all the way down, but it's missing a decent little chunk right here into the neck. So a little bit of lining up issues, but it looks really nice. I think a lot of blood all over the mouth. Very graphic figure. Definitely, I think the most graphic Godzilla figure I have. I have yet to, like I said, I have yet to read the Dark Horse comics. I don't really know much about this Godzilla other than I've seen his design everywhere before. But I think they did a great job capturing the design in general. Moving into the body, we have kind of it's a pretty solid color all over. I mean, we have some texture, which kind of gives us some differences, but they didn't really do too much paint differences in the body. But looking at the chest, it's good. We kind of have the really aggressive kind of dents here, like we had on the other figure. Moving into kind of the arms and everywhere else, you know, we just kind of have a basic paint job. The claws are painted very accurately. We kind of have a little candy corn effect, whereas the bases of the claws are a little bit darker than the other claws. So or than the kind of the tips, and I actually really like that. I think it's a cool effect. Same deal kind of on these toe claws. You can see that little kind of darker orange ring around them. Paint was applied fairly accurately on these. The spines, I think, are really cool, like almost seafoam green color. They are painted, congratulations, Super7, all the way down to the tip of the tail, so I definitely have to appreciate that. And they are painted very accurately, top to bottom, really, and we kind of have some vein action going on, you know, just extra texture, which really looks good. You can even see on the main spines, we have some really cool texture kind of working our way into the spines, and I really appreciate that. I think this figure definitely surpasses the first one. I think I mean, which really just goes to show that the glossiness killed that first figure so much, because this figure is gorgeous and it does not have that glossiness. It's kind of more of a matte. It has some glossiness kind of, you know, in the blood. It looks great, but they weren't as crazy with the gloss, and I think it really, really made the difference, guys. Again, this figure was a little bit expensive. It's clocking in at the $79 price point, which, you know, 80 bucks for this guy, 7-inch, 8-inch figure with just a couple of accessories. Pretty expensive, especially when our articulation, our details, not quite at the SH Monster Arts level. SH Monster Arts might be kind of a slightly better deal than the Super7 Ultimates, but I really like this figure. I love that they did the Dark Horse Comics Bloodthirsty Godzilla. I think he looks great. We're going to go ahead and take a quick peek ski at some of the accessories. We're going to start with the open mouth head. So unfortunately, again, Super 7, for whatever reason, they don't want to try to do any articulated jaw. I don't know why, but so they do provide us with 2 different heads. Interesting on this one, we have 2 kind of blood spouts coming down, whereas on the figure we have 4 coming across there. So it's interesting that that's kind of changed up, but I think this head looks really cool. I don't know which head I'm going to kind of display him with, but I've definitely decided I'm going to display him with this dude in his hand. I don't know, like I said, I haven't read the Dark Horse comics, so I don't know if this guy's supposed to be anyone in particular. But it's very cool. You know, it definitely, like, you know, with the arm kind of bent one way and the hand, totally works to have him, like, in Godzilla's hand, you know, with his arm kind of right there, pushing away, because Godzilla's sending him right to his mouth. So maybe I'll have the open mouth going towards this guy. And that'll move us into the hands, guys. So obviously Godzilla's going to come with kind of 2, you know, hands that are halfway grabby. That's going to be my official name for them, the halfway grabbies. And they look great. I love the claws. I already talked about those. And then moving into the other hands, we kind of have some more aggressive battle hands. You know, kind of reminds me of the hands we got on the Godzilla 2021 from SH Monster Arts. But it also, I think, would work pretty good to hold our little guy here. But also, I've tried him in both sets of hands, and he actually works. He probably works better in the half grabbies than these guys. These are a little too loose, but I'll have to play with it a little bit more. But again, the claws look pretty great. Nice paint apps. Good detail. We got detail on the inside of the hand a little bit. Good detail on the top of the hand. And that'll move us into our last set of hands, guys, which is just closed fists. They look pretty good. I do have one little, you can see that little tiny blob of paint there that was mistakenly placed. And it looks like the pointer finger could have had a little paint color in there that just didn't get painted. Same one here. They definitely kind of missed a tiny bit of paint, but I mean, it's a very hidden claw, and I think the other claws that are present look very good. And we've already kind of taken a look at both of the heads. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and swap the heads, and we'll jump into articulation. Alrighty guys, head swap is complete again. Obviously, no mouth articulation on this guy. I don't know why Super 7 does it that way, but that is the way it is. So, first piece of articulation is going to be the top head joint here. We're going to have great range of motion. Ball joint, so we get some up, we get some down. We get 360. Next one's going to be the neck, which you could maybe go 360 if you really forced it, but I'm not going to force it past that. But you can get good sideways head motion on it. You can get his head looking perfectly sideways. And again, that would rotate all of the spines on the back of his neck piece. Moving into the arms, guys, we are going to have shoulder, some up-down of shoulder, and movement on this joint here. Moving into the next little arm piece. Again, this does have 360 there, and doesn't really have any motion aside from that. It's just kind of on a spinner. This arm piece here, kind of at the elbow, going to give us pretty good range of motion, straight arm, and kind of a 90-degree angle arm, and does have 360 motion. And then the hand, guys, again, going to have good wrist. You can see we go all the way down to there, all the way up to there, and 360. Surprisingly enough, both arms are going to be the same, so don't have to do the second one. Moving into the torso, guys, we do have 360 on the torso, so that's awesome. Gives us great posability on the figure. No really waist bend, though. It's just going to be on that spinner. And you can actually see, you can see this middle piece actually bends with the figure. It's kind of weird. That's trippy to watch. Anyways, guys, so there's your kind of upper half. Moving into the lower half, the leg is kind of a little, you can kind of swivel them out a little ways, and you can swivel them in. And then you do have pretty good range of motion. You could probably get 360, but I'm not going further than that because it gets a little tight. But I mean, you're not going to need more than that. It'd be cool if you had a little, like, acrylic piece that could kind of hide here, give him some really good stomping action. So there's your kind of the thigh articulation. Moving into the knee, how much bend are we getting? Really? So there's a straight leg, and then the bent leg, it's pretty tight articulation, but you can kind of go all the way back. So bent to straight, and you do get 360-ish out of that. You can kind of force it past there. I'm not going to, but you could get the 360 if you wanted it. Ankle, you can bend down, not really at all, and you can bend up a little bit. It's really tight. You can see where the joint is, but it doesn't really want to move for me, and I don't want to hurt it. So there's a joint there. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. feel free to break your own figure. And a little bit of side-to-side tilt. Not much out of the feet, but that's not going to bug me. I don't really use the feet articulation anyways. Moving into the tail. Got lots of articulated pieces. Every chunk is a slightly articulated piece. This is kind of maximum bend in terms of upward. And then if you wanted to... It's pretty stiff. I don't like bending it too much. You kind of get that. You get a little bit of gapping here. And yes, this piece is all the way pushed in. But if you have it kind of straight and he's leaning forward, you have some gapping, which you can kind of see from the back there. But if he's kind of sitting back on his tail, the gapping is completely gone and it looks fine. We do have a little bit of leg gapping here that looks a little more egregious than the tail gapping, but not too shabby of any sort of articulation. We do have a pretty good range of articulation. So guys, the moment you've all been waiting for, let's take a look at this guy between some other figures. So guys, first up, the first Godzilla that Super 7 Ultimates gave us. Like I said, guys, almost positive this is the exact same sculpt. They stand the same height. Their faces look really identical, aside from paint, obviously. Came with the same basic hands. The chest kind of looks the same. Torso looks the same. Legs are identical, really. Tails and spines gonna be pretty much identical. So I just wanted to kind of show that off, that this pretty much is the exact same figure, but throw in some paint differences. And obviously we don't have the hand with the plant through it, and we do have this little homeboy. So there's our Super 7s. Just a refresher on how he scales with the Super 7 Biollante. There you go, if you wanted to kind of get the bloodthirsty Godzilla going after Biollante as well. There's the scaling. Hiya Toys KOTM Goji. Obviously, different size scaling, kind of more of a 7-inch figure, more of an 8-inch figure. So there's kind of what we're looking at between Hiya and the Super 7s. We've seen this comparison before in the last Super 7 video, but I just wanted to do it again. I wanted to show him off next to a NECA figure, and I thought this guy fit the vibe. They're both kind of fun paint apps and whatnot. So here's the NECA. Obviously, NECA is going to be even smaller than Hiya, so going to be significantly smaller than this guy, but there is our NECA. This is the 1956 poster version, by the way. But there's that size comparison. 8-inch Godzilla Meltdown Godzilla from Bandai. Just wanted to show off against a couple of Bandais. The 8-inch Bandai is going to be a little taller than the Super 7. So I just wanted to kind of show you off that size comparison. And a standard 6-inch Movie Monster Series Bandai. This is the Festival Burning Godzilla. But so obviously 6-inch Movie Monster Series is going to be significantly smaller than the Super 7s. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, this pose looks amazing. That is just the half hand. Both of the kind of crazy hands are down here, so that little dude looks pretty darn good in the half hand there that he just kind of comes standard with. This has been the Super 7 Toho Ultimates Godzilla 1989 comic book Bloodthirsty San Diego Comic-Con 2023 exclusive. Is that name quite long enough for you? I don't think so. We got to find a couple more words to add on there. Anyways, guys, summary overall, I love this figure. I think it's the best of the 3 Super 7 offerings we have to date. I think it really just shows that glossiness did not look amazing on that first Godzilla, and it kind of spilled into the Biollante as well. This is definitely my new favorite Super 7 Toho Ultimate figure. I think it's gorgeous. Definitely would recommend picking it up if you think it looks good here. If you enjoyed the other Super 7 releases and you aren't too worried about the price point, I would definitely pick it up. These Super 7 Comic-Con exclusives, they sell them at the con, and then pretty much anything that's left after the con, they throw on their website, and once it's gone, and you're going to have to fight in the resellers market for it. So if you're interested, pull the trigger sooner rather than later, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this figure in the comments section below. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you in the next one.